in the NBA and stop making your talent assessments of NFL players. Just go away, play your sport, and don't tell us who NFL players should play for, because we really don't care what you think, DeAndre. We could care less. So that is going to wrap up my Sounds of Song. We're going to head into Thursday Night Football tonight. The 1-3 Arizona Cardinals battle the 1-3 San Francisco 49ers. This is a surprise. Arizona was supposed to be one of the best teams in the league this year. They were supposed to compete for the NFC crown. At this point, they've lost 2 straight to 2 teams that, in my opinion, aren't even come close to making the playoffs. First one, they get blown out by Buffalo. I personally thought Arizona was going to come and rebound at home in a big way like they usually do against the Rams. Now, to the Rams' credit, they've won 3 in a row. They've shown some signs of life, but Arizona is a much better team than L.A. They're a much better team. I don't know what's going on there. Tonight, I think they rebound. Carson Palmer is out for tonight's game with concussion protocol. But I think a lot of times teams rally around when one of their big guns is out. They come together. Drew Stanton's going to get the start. Drew Stanton, he played some valuable games when Carson Palmer went out, I believe it was a couple years ago. He played some good games. He's done some good things. He's been under the Bruce Arians system for a while. So, yes, they are losing Carson Palmer, but it's not going to be a massive, massive loss. Nothing detrimental. On the flip side, San Francisco is a mess. Chip Kelly, a disaster as an NFL coach. I don't know why San Francisco decided to give this guy a chance. He was a failure in Philly. He's going to be a failure in San Francisco. He needs to go back to college. He's another typical example of he's not an NFL guy. His game doesn't work in the NFL. That fast break offense, it does work in college. He's shown it worked in college when he was at Oregon. Had some fantastic teams and almost won a national championship against the Auburn Tigers when Cam Newton was there. Played literally, almost came back, won that game. So Chip Kelly's a great college coach. He does not know how to handle professional athletes. There's no doubt about that. San Francisco right now is a wreck. I think this game's going to be close. The line right now at Vegas sits at about 3.5. So I think you're going to see a close game. But I think Arizona will pull away at the end and win this, I don't know, something in the range of, I'm going to say about a 7 to 10 point game. I think it's going to be kind of like the Dallas game was last week. I think Frisco's going to hang tough. I think Carlos Hyde's going to have a good game. Speaking of which, he's a good fantasy play tonight. I don't know why you'd have him out of your starting lineup anyway, but if you do, definitely put him in there. Arizona's got some weaknesses on defense. I think Carlos Hyde can get to that second level, make some good runs. I mean, I believe he had like 90 yards and a few touchdowns last week against a pretty decent Dallas defense. So I think Arizona, obviously Buffalo, and the Rams were able to. The Rams are able to get about 288 yards. They really didn't get a whole lot done. Gurley was shut down for the most part. Arizona turned it over 5 times. That's why the Rams won. So keep it a nice game. Arizona needs to get that running game established with David Johnson. I think Drew Stanton's going to get a few balls out there to John Brown on the perimeter. Going to get it going. Going to hit a few deep balls. And it's going to open up David Johnson to the running game. But they've got to play good run defense against San Francisco. San Francisco can't do a whole lot other than run the football. If they stop Carlos Hyde, this thing will get ugly. I personally think Hyde's going to have a decent game tonight. I think that's why it's going to be close early. I think Arizona's going to get a couple of deep throws in the end, and I think Arizona wins this game by a count of, I'm going to say I'm going to go 23-10 Arizona. I think that's your final score. I think he's going to have a tight game, 16-10 Arizona. They get a late touchdown and close this game out 23-10. So if you're interested, got some fantasy players out there, Thursday night football. Home team did well last week. I don't see that happening this week. Cincinnati goes and has a nice 22-7 win. I think that changes this week. I think the road team comes to play and gets this thing taken care of, and I think Arizona walks out of there with about a 7-10 point win. I think it's a great value play if you're deciding on betting on this game. Just because Arizona's lost, I think it's a great time to jump on them. I really do. I think it's a good time to jump on them tonight. I think they get it done. And they get that record of 2-3, come out with a division win, and get some momentum going into the next coming weeks. Now, why did Florida wait so long to cancel this game? And folks, look, before we get into this, look, my heart and prayer goes out to these people that's in harm's way. I've got some friends and family that live in South Carolina. I've got some good friends that live in Charleston. And I just want to give a shout out to you guys that I'm thinking about you. You're in my prayers. And look, get out. Don't try to weather the storm. No pun intended. We can replace property. We can't replace lives. This is a Category 4 storm right now. I mean, Katrina was a Category 3. We know all about floods. We know all about hurricanes. Get out. Just get out. Get out. Get out. But you are in my prayers. I'm just praying for minimal damage. Praying for a miracle for no damage. Everything. Just, Lord, take care of these people. Because Mother Nature is a beast. We all know it. This world knows it. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina coastline, we are praying for you. It's those hurricanes are nothing to play with, and it's rolling on in. So, just guys, sometimes Mother Nature brings it to our knees. I know this better than anybody, so let's just say some prayers out there for these people that they get out of there. It's minimal damage, and it's not too long of a road to recovery if they are damaged, in fact. So just keep those guys in your prayers. It's not a good situation. But getting back to what I was leading into is I think it's pretty pathetic that Jim McElwain tries to go to Florida officials and push to have this game when the University of Florida has evacuated. I think what McElwain tried to do, instead of agreeing to play the game in Baton Rouge, now I do understand why. I mean, I do understand why he wouldn't want to play the Baton Rouge game, but you got to come out and make an announcement. The game has been postponed. Play it on your off week, whatever the case is. Maybe it's going to get canceled due to the fact that maybe they don't have the same off weeks. I haven't checked on that, but it's a situation. I think there's two reasons why Florida did this. First is Florida is extremely banged up. I think that's a small reason. I don't think that's the major reason behind it, but they really are. They have a lot of injuries right now. I think they were banking on the home crowd to pull them through, and since this has happened, McElwain's like, oh, no way we go to Baton Rouge. Not with LSU looking like the way they did last week. I think it has a lot to do. It's more to do with that than anything else. Now, why he held LSU hostage, I don't know. I don't know what the hell it was about. But that's what I think happened. I think it was a situation where they didn't like it if they couldn't get the game in. They knew they weren't going to mail the game in, but they still just kept it Instead of calling this thing on Tuesday, they take it all the way out to Thursday. So I have a much different opinion of McElwain. I think he's a chump. I really, really do. I think that's a terrible thing to do. Just you look. You just follow the weather report and do the decent thing, and don't make it like you're gonna have this game in this awful, awful weather. This is a PR thing. This is damage, in my opinion, to McElwain and his credibility. I don't know about credibility, but just being, God, I don't know what the right word is. I really don't have it. But it's like, we all knew the danger in this. So why are you waiting this long? Or the Florida officials waiting this long to cancel or postpone this game? That's ridiculous. Unfortunate LSU, doesn't, they don't get it. They don't get to play. But the bigger picture in this is these people in Florida, and we need to be more concerned with that than the cancellation or postponement of this game. But I think it's an awful situation that Florida created on their own, and really kept these LSU players hostage, knowing full well that they weren't going to have this game. They knew that. I mean, come on, you're evacuating the city, you're evacuating the university. But you can't come out and make a bold statement, we're not having the game. Now, they did today. But, I mean, why didn't we make this on Monday or Tuesday? You knew what the deal was. Oh, those Gators, boy. Those Gators. Saw something today. Are they scared of the eye of the tiger or the eye of the hurricane? I think a little bit of both, but they definitely didn't want to come. They definitely didn't want to play the game all that much. I think the only way they thought they could beat LSU was to get that home field advantage. That's my opinion. They wanted to play in front of their fans, and they knew they wouldn't be able to do it. So they decided, let's hold them hostage, and on Thursday we'll make the call that we should have made 2 or 3 days ago. So lost my respect, for sure. Okay, well, let's dive in. Let's take a look at these Major League Baseball playoffs. Now, I'm going to get to recruiting, guys. Just give me. I know that's what you're waiting for, and we're going to get there. I just want to touch on this because like I said, I'm a big Giants fan. But Madison Bumgarner, you just don't want to mess with the Giants and Madison Bumgarner when they're in the playoffs. These guys are automatic. And what's crazy is these guys, I think they love to play on the road. They love these tight games. They love this. It's like they have so much confidence in themselves and Madison Bumgarner. They really do. And why not? I'm getting ready to throw some gaudy statistics at you. They really are incredible. And he is definitely one of the greatest, if not the greatest, postseason pitcher of all time. One, he's working on a 4th ring. 2, in 13 career postseason starts, this guy's posted 3 shutouts and a 1.94 ERA. Further, if you dive into him in the playoffs, the last 2 games that he's pitched in elimination games, these are wild card elimination games, okay? The ones he's actually started. 2 complete game shutouts. Now, in the other game that he won, which is the World Series clincher, Game 7 of the World Series with the Kansas City Royals, he came in the 5th inning. Shut the Royals out. Shut them down. So you're looking at about 4 innings, 5 innings, no runs allowed in elimination games.